We are literally at a Happy New Year. How do you like that? Happy New Year. It starts all over again for real, sort of. We should say.
At least until January, which is the
right.
new real Happy New Year.
That's exactly right. Don't get too far ahead. All right, let's get to know each other a little bit. We'll talk about each other in a minute. Buddy, brand spanking new, been around for 20 plus years. Do you have business with the government right now? Are your contracts affected by the shutdown? Because we do have some good information for folks where the contract. There's Brian Hebel in the house.
I don't want. I'm a former contracting officer. I don't want to know any of you all.
And if you've ever been to a GovBrief session before, appreciate you guys. All right, let's talk about what just happened. We thought we were starting the government up at October 1st, right, Brian?
Right.
But then they cut off the spigot. As we would say here in Baltimore, spigot. They cut off the spigot. So now what happens? Are we going to be catching up? Is that the idea, or what happens? What will be happening?
All the procurements that did not get released at the start of October 1st that have been pending, because there's always a cutoff that the contracting officers have, they should be releasing those. So there should be an influx of contracting activity.
There should be an influx. Is it going to happen like right away? Or is it going to look more something like that?
It's going to be a combination, I think, depending on the budgets. So I know from people that we've been talking to, they've got stuff that's already ready to send.
Yep.
That was ready back in September. They couldn't get it out. And they're like, all we're going to do is funding's there, hit the go button, and we go. I've got others who say they're waiting on the contracting officer to show up to finalize the paperwork because they're on furlough right now. So,
If I was a government contractor and I've been furloughed, I'd come back in, sit down, look at my computer, go get some coffee, come back, sit down, look again, go get some more coffee. I think I would take
and is
my
that
time.
because you're a government employee in this situation?
No, but that's what I'm feeling.
Are you saucing the coffee too with some Jack Daniels or something?
Possibly. And just kind of taking my time that first day. I think
so would everybody agree with this? That what's coming is it's not quite. Wait a minute. Where's my piece? Not quite yet, but it is coming. Everybody agree?
Yeah. Hey Dave, I will say one thing. I heard a story of a contracting officer in CDC in like July, and like they fired most of the contracting people there, and they were coming to him with procurement packages, and saying, hey, we got to get this done to September. He said, that's not my problem. He says, it's not my problem they fired everybody. We'll get it maybe in December. Yeah. So the same thing might happen with, when this comes up, just because you think they're going to hurry up and do it. Whatever you thought was going to happen maybe November 15th might not happen to December 15th or January.
Yeah.
All these procurement packages, even though they did change the FAR. If anybody is a FAR geek, FAR Part 7 about what has to go in a procurement package, they changed all that around so they could streamline it. But, their contracting people are probably going to say, hey, that's not my problem, government was shut down.
You're absolutely right. D. Smith, what do you got there? Unmutify.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. There's something else I don't know if you guys have actually thought about it or not, but this is something that I've talked to a lot of my ATIBA colleagues. I've talked to a lot of colleagues from across the DOE and NSA DOE complex. And one of the things that everybody's concerned about are actually two talking points. One of them is that the SAM.gov registrations, they have to be active in order for you to continue a contract or to get one.
That's always the case.
Well, the SAM help desk is shut down. There's nobody in the office to verify the DLA information or any of the other checkboxes. So that is going to create.
That's not right.
Havoc when that opens up.
Hey, that's not necessarily right, because the GSA's been running. The help desk might not be fully staffed, but they have been running.
Yeah, I'm looking right now on their website, and it says it's taking longer than normal, but it's open.
It's open.
Okay.
It's always taking longer than normal. I don't even know what normal is.
Yeah,
that's like when that's when like they say it's higher than normal call volume, but it's always on that.
So
But
yeah,
you guys can verify conclusively that there are people in the office to physically check that, because being said differently, but
I just know that they've been there. GSA is one of the agencies that has been open.
And they might be, and I don't know, Dave, but they might be contractors and they already had funding for it. It's like CPARS.gov, they're contractors.
Yep. So that's what I know. But so I just want to make sure you knew that was right. And then, I do want to so I appreciate that, man. I didn't want to shoot you down. I just want to make sure that you knew. Cool. All right. So let's talk about the hot seat questions for today. So we'll talk about what happens when the government reopens. We already dabbled into that a little bit. We'll talk about how we can leverage this shutdown and what we could do to act right now to make sure we're getting ourselves positioned in the right spot. Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
That sounds good. All right. So there you go. A quick disclaimer: we're not affiliated with nobody, right, Brian? Nobody wants to be affiliated with us. And and if there's any Govies here, we love the Govies. I doubt there's any Govies here that got enough things on their mind. But we have to have this because what GSA gave us. We love the participation. You can raise your hand just like Mr. Smith did. And you can give us feedback if you like what we're saying. If you don't like what we're saying, you can throw stuff at us. And you can target all that to Todd Crane. We love to lather him up with all that. And we will be connecting with experts today. We'll be discussing what works in the federal space. We do shameless plugs here all the time, Denise B. Lawrence, because Denise B. Lawrence helps people. She writes grants as well as RFPs, and that's exactly what we do. We highlight the folks that decide to spend their time with us today, especially our partners and our sponsors. We do have a sponsor with Sam Radar because we can't do this alone. And there you go. So the session docs, I'm going to pump the session docs in here now. I do believe they're here ready to go. I say so. Where did my chat go? Oh, there it is. All right. Session docs are there. You can get the reports. We have a bunch of reports there. We have the anemic FY 2026 spending reports year to date, because that means October when it was shut down. So you can see, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But I do want to let you know what these reports say. Is all the data comes from FPDS and SAM.gov. SAM.gov is where the opportunities hit, right? Right, Peter Timbus? That's where opportunities live.
Absolutely.
And then in FPDS, we know a little bit about FPDS, don't we, Brian?
Yeah, we know a little bit. I dream about it.
I'm not sure that's good dreams, but
he was
nightmares.
So
he was also saying he's a FAR nerd too earlier, so
That's right. All right. All these are relative to the number of offers received, because this is what pinged me back in 2009 when somebody told me, oh, by the way, anybody want to see my resume from 2007 when I got into this world? Everybody want to see it?
Yep.
Is it front and back? I didn't know nothing. And then somebody said, hey, have you ever heard of FPDS? I was like, I don't know what that word means. And so they turned me on to this. And this is what I learned. I want to tell you what happened in 2024. 81% of the contracts, 60% of the dollars were either not reported or won. What does that mean, Brian? What does not reported mean? Former federal contracting officer.
Means we don't like competition.
In fact, not reported means won, right?
Yeah, not reported means one. Yeah. Well, just about all the time, unless they just left it blank.
So,
but I would think.
So I want everybody to get ready to click on their emoji things and tell me who wants to be here. Who wants to be here? Who wants to be zero? That's right. Everybody freaking should be responding right now. How about this one? 90% of the contracts, 93% of the ducats shortlisted. Who wants to be here? Shortlisted. How about we get to shortlisted and then get to the place where we're no competition? How about that? Love, love, love it. How about this? How many folks knew that the difference between what hit SAM.gov was 7.1 million contracts and change versus that 98% did not hit Who wants some of the 98%? Thumbs up. Everybody should want some of this. Absolutely, absolutely. So you might be saying, what happened? Wait a minute. The Trumpster took office. Did you know that, Rafael Marrero, that Trump took office on January 20th?
I sure did, because I wrote about it.
So what happened since then? 77%, 60% of the dollars, no competition. 87% of the contracts, 93% of the dollars shortlisted. 3.6 million. Now this is preliminary because DOD hasn't reported yet, right, Brian? DOD waits 90 days to report, right, on FPDS? That's right. So that's why we want to know. At least I want to know anyway. Where's my polls? What is happening on Zoom today? Here we go. I'm going to end that poll and go back to this one, which is the other one. Did you know about the 98%? Yes, and you want some. Well, you knew something was missing, but you still want some. And this is the first time you heard about it, but you want some. And maybe you don't believe me. Maybe there's people here. You believe that. Peter Timmis, do you think that there's anybody here that doesn't believe me?
Everybody believes every word you say to a T.
That's right. All right. So if you knew about, let us know if you knew about that. And then you might be saying, well, what about since the shutdown, right? Since we just been through this together. So 58% of the contracts, 59% of the dollars only had one. 73% of the contracts, 92% of the dollars, very similar, were shortlisted. But we do see a massive difference in the number of contracts awarded, right? And this is pulled from last year's similar reports, same report criteria, and that the dates signed were all done. And this is pre-election, right? From last year too. So this doesn't even include the election jitters that happened in November last year, which is kind of wild between November and January. But this is just looking at it real. 70% less spending. So if we're competing for hidden contracts and it's a planting and cultivating thing, right, Nikita? You can't just expect to just jump in this space and win.
No. I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
What do those numbers say about P-card purchases?
They don't include P-card purchases. It depends. They're not always there, right? Because P-card purchases are reported differently. These are major contracts. P-cards often don't hit this on FPDS, right?
Which means there's a lot more funding that was spent, and maybe that's part of the difference between 2024 and 2025.
That's same numbers, same criteria.
I think he has the typo there with the years.
Do you switch your graph?
I think
you're right.
If we have that much,
holy cow!
that much P-card
Stop!
spending,
Stop sharing. I have to fix it. My apology.
That's why I was asking about the P cards, because I was like, did you
that's a lot of
include it or
P card
not?
usage. Yeah.
All right. Whoever set this up needs to be reprimanded because now.
Didn't you do that?
All right. Pay no attention to what you just saw. Now pay attention to it.
Give me the name. Give me the name. I'm on it. Give me
Thank you very much, Nikita. You could have just said, hey, something's jacked. But thank you for telling me.
Hey,
I love it.
Todd was pointing it out into the chat too, nicely. I was just trying to say, hey,
That goes to everything I say, right, Peter? As opposed to everything I put on the screen, because you said you can believe every word I say. All right, so let me ask you this, Nikita, when is the best time to plant a tree?
any day.
Any day? But if you wanted fruit right now, when was the best time?
Ooh, right now.
I'll set you up.
It has to hibernate over the year.
Well, that's true. But
Not
5
if you want
years
fruit
ago,
now.
if you wanted fruit right now, you could buy a company that has contracts right now, right? So 5 years ago. But the second best day to plant a tree is when?
Now.
Now. Today. Right now. And we're still.
I was going to say, so we had a success this morning, right?
You did?
And one of our people walk into a facility asking them about a current contract that we know they're struggling with, right? And they're like, oh, by the way, on the off chance, we're about to release a contract for X, Y, and Z. What do you do? We're going to service them next week on a P card purchase.
Dang.
But that's not fair. You can do it without any competition?
Yeah.
What? Not fair.
Why?
How many people
If we
love
make sure
that? The
we meet
fact
their limitations and we solve a need, they don't
Yep.
have to go through contracting. You get direct award. Direct
bingo.
fund.
P cards are a great way to get started, aren't they?
Yeah, I do training for the acquisition workforce at my former agency, and they get to me with a P card too. So yeah, it's a great way.
Yeah.
They're small.
Yep. And it's all hidden. It's not really hidden. It's all reported, but it's not reported the same way. All right, let's get to the hot seat questions. I'll introduce different people as we go along and what they do, if that's okay with you. All right, so what happens when the government reopens? I'm going to go first because there's some news actually right now about some other things that are happening that are piling onto these things. Todd Crane, tell us about CMMC and what just took place.
Yeah, so Monday wasn't just the Marine Corps birthday, the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps, but it's also the effective date for CMMC. Now CMMC is now in full effect, or it's on its taper in period.
Yep.
But all new contracts with the Department of War or any Department of War adjacent contracts are going to have a CMMC requirement on them. And it's going to actually say in the solicitation and the award what level you have to be. And we're going to start seeing people actually requiring audits here, even though it's not going to be formally required until November 10th of next year. That's a requirement for the contracting officer. So in order to be ahead of that, they're going to start requiring it in advance. Plus, other subcontractors are requiring it as well already. D. Smith says CMMC sucks.
Hey, CMMC is real.
Going. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
it's only been in the hopper for like 10 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah, almost. And really, the government's perspective on this is that all they're doing is adding an audit requirement to the things you've been saying you've been doing.
Yep.
So if you start, get your, torch and pitchfork ready, well, then you're bringing attention onto yourself. It's like, okay, what have you been doing all this time when you've been saying you're doing it? And
Yep.
so, yeah, I would be careful with, like I said, your torch and pitchfork.
I agree. So what else is happening out there? Brian Hebel, former contracting officer for 32 years and group director of 3 divisions, $1.5 billion that he managed as a contracting officer.
Well, certainly the FAR overhaul.
That's a fact.
Yeah, certainly.
What are we seeing there?
Well, we're just, really, for how people are going to hunt, everything's changing. For all the FAR parts essentially are changing, whether it's 12, 13, 19, 15, 42, 35. And there's all aspects in all those sections that are really going to affect how people approach inside acquisition strategies and outside. So anyhow, we've been doing a FAR overhaul course that we've done past month. We've done it twice. A lot of people coming, and if they come to our course, which we're going to do it again next month, Dave, they can come again in January once all the FAR is codified and it's set. We're just letting people in for that again. But anyhow,
and as soon as these new FAR things go live, all the contracting officers understand them cold, right?
Well, I think the biggest change is for small businesses is FAR Part 19. For those that are FAR weenies, you're going to FAR Part 19. They basically wiped out all the language about the small business specialist, the OSTABU. It's like crossed out everywhere. So no more OSTABUs are going to be looking at task orders, whether it's FAR Part 16 or a GSA task order, stuff that's in the 8A program everybody's heard can just be pulled out, and go to a different set-aside type. So a lot of changes. If it's an 8A now and it's less than $4.5 million, first thing the contracting officer has to do is try to compete it. So the 8A sole source is even out the window. So big changes in terms of how people on the inside think and do their job.
Which is
that's just the tip of the iceberg. From that standpoint, I'm putting together a training for next week just to talk about that. But anyhow, crazy.
Brian, are you doing a DFARS training as well with the DFARS changes, or are you just checking FAR right now?
Well, are you talking about the NADA bill with CPARs or?
There's a few things I've seen. I'm not a FAR nerd.
Yeah, the National Defense Authorization Act bill.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that hasn't really gone through and been passed yet, and I'm hoping that language comes out about the negative CPARs, because the people at the Office of Federal Procurement Policy, the people at GSA, Jeff Kosis, I just emailed him literally and got hurt Friday and heard back from him Monday. The FAR changes are totally in disparity with what the National Defense Authorization Bill says. So that stuff is all kind of up in the air. So it's a little bit of a cluster, so anyhow, the people that are on the FAR Council that and the FAR Council that write the FAR changes for DOD didn't even know what was in the NADA bill, in the National Defense Authorization Bill, and they were just informed of it last week. So stay tuned on that, Todd. But it's a really good point, because for those that don't know and they have CPARs, it's just saying that you're gonna, if DOD in the future is just going to do negative CPARs. Only if you screw up are you going to get a CPAR. And what that really means to me, Todd, is contracting officers, Corps aren't even going to know how to use the CPAR system anymore. So nobody on DOD is even going to use the CPAR system. That's what will happen with that. So I'm not a big fan of that. Just get rid of the whole damn thing, but or keep it. And I'm certainly, Dave, we want them to keep it, since
we gotta have them keep it.
Real
Why
quick,
do we need them to keep it, Brian?
Because we built a CPAR software subscription service. We're now just starting to market. We've been working on it for 2 years. Do not scrap it.
That's right. And it isn't being scrapped. For shameless plug, this is a brand new shameless plug for everybody here. If you're not sure what CPARs are, they are your report card, right, Brian?
Yeah, they're your yearly report card that you get, and half the contractors are satisfactory. But actually, Todd, if you look at the changes in FAR Part 42 and what it's going to do, they change CPARs, so it's going to be used more than just source selection as it is now. It's going to be used for market research. They could even go into I foresee in the future it'd almost be like you're going TripAdvisor and you see how good the resort is or the hotel. You could have that for CPARs, and they would use that, and they're only going to pick, and they're kind of the FAR changes is looking for innovation. They will only pick contractors that had high performance. If you got a very good or an excellent, you got a better chance of being on a limited sources GSA schedule, as opposed to, and the other way it's going to be used, it's supposed to be used more for performance management during the course of the contract. So they got rid of the word source selection. It can be used for that, but they want to open it up and use it for more things on the OFPP, the FAR Council, and GSA, even Jeff Kosis at GSA, but on the National Defense Authorization, and that Scalia, I think her name's Scalia, is from New York. She's somebody on her staff, or somebody shoved that thing in the NADA bill. Nobody knows about it. It's one paragraph. The NADA bill's 1,200 pages, and it's just kind of snuck in there. It's so screwed up in terms of what they want to do.
There's going to be a shakeup.
Sorry, everybody, get on my soapbox.
That's all right. That's what we love. We love the soapboxes. And Denise just popped in the link to Brian's next CPARS training on Eventbrite. Thank you very much. Speaking of Denise B. Lawrence, she helps with proposal writing, and considering that there's going to be some more than average activity on sam.gov, what are some of the things that you would tell people to be ready for when they're looking for RFPs?
You should have been reworking all of your content, updating your capability statements, everything, and be ready to go. If you haven't, you better get busy and reach out to Raphael like yesterday. But yeah, it's just going to be time to I expect lots and lots of sources sought, and them looking for information. And so in addition to, I would think lots and lots of RFPs are going to be coming out like crazy, and you need a team. Yep. And you need to be able to hit it fast, quick, and dirty. And those sources sought, I think we're going to see like we saw before, where, in 90 minutes, they're going to have what they need. So if you aren't, using Sam Radar, and you aren't sitting there with somebody sitting there looking at what's hitting and responding immediately, you're going to get lost in the sauce. And so That's never a good idea. I'm also excited to see what happens with DOD with SBIRs and STTRs. You know, they've been moving the broad agency announcements every week, hoping, maybe next week. So, yeah.
You know what I just did to learn, and I'm putting a presentation together for next Friday about acquisition strategies as the FAR Council, and I was just reading it in the FAR Companion Guide. I've been doing a lot of looking on FedBizOps with those commercial solutions openings, Denise, over the broad agency announcements, and what I read in the FAR Companion Guide just about an hour and a half ago was those commercial solutions opening, they're only authorized to be used by DOD, DHS, and I'll tell you exactly what it says because I put it on a slide for that. Let me just see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So it's only DOD has the authority on a permanent basis. The pilot program is made permanent by a NADA bill in 2022. DHS and GSA have CSO authority on a pilot basis. So I did not know that. I thought everybody could use those CSOs, but I will say, Dave and Denise, I do have another question for you. But if you haven't looked at CSOs, go to FedBizOps, or Sam Radar, FedBizOps. That's how old I am, right? Sam.gov.
FedBizOps. You can tell when Brian have retired.
Yeah. He just forgets all his acronyms, right?
Go get your teletype machine out.
Yeah.
Morse code to sam.gov office.
Yeah. So I wonder where you're going to find those as a cheap and absolutely shameless plug for today at 1 p.m. We will be talking about this on GovBrief, how you can find BAA, right? Broad area announcements, as well as other opportunities that will hit on sam.gov. Now,
Dave, during that tutorial, type in CSO. Just type in CSO.
I will.
And you'll see them pop up. I do have one other question for Denise, and sorry to talk so much today. I haven't talked to anybody yet today, so this is just fun for me. Nobody's home. No, Denise, I'm kind of just funning. But what are you you thinking is going to happen with grants? Like, I know you do grants too, but what's going to really happen with the volume of grants going forward? I'm really just,
I'm hoping, so this has been the weird part. If you go to grants.gov, it will tell you that you can keep submitting if there are open opportunities. Now, in the past, I've learned that's a bad move, that you tend to submit and things get lost. That, employees do not necessarily come back and say, well, let me go back and see who submitted while I was gone. They kind of focus on what's been submitted since they came back. And so I have not encouraged my clients to do that. But now I would assume those things that, once they get authorized, that's the headache, is thinking of like NIH and all of the grants that they have available, or Department of Labor and all the grants that they have available, they still have to be authorized. So I think we're still going to have a lull until probably second week of December. And then I think it's going to be, new dates. And I think those dates are going to be shorter. So if something was due in October, but it's been on hold, I think they're going to give people like a week.
Are you seeing less money going to grants, do you think, across the board?
Well, definitely, because so many have gone away. Yeah. So, we went from average, a couple of thousand grants available on any given day to closer to 800-900 grants available on any given day just in the last, since January. So, yeah, there's definitely that shift. And so, it's still about technology, innovation, all the other things. They're just not there. I'm hearing some things are coming back, like PREFAR, which is what USAID used to do, that it is coming back through CDC. So I'm just really just watching and hoping because there's a lot of folks ready to pounce on that. And so, but I think it's going to take time.
Brian Keel's asking, how is SBIRs? Go ahead and unmute, Brian. Tell them ask the panel what you're asking for.
Yeah.
I was just asking about the SBIR, right? Because my company is a new 8A company, but we're a tier one provider, and as an 8A, our innovation center, both here in the U.S. and offshore, how am I able to, or what would you suggest I do to partner to get some of these contracts?
Some of the contracts or the grants? Because SBB.
No, the grants. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Well, I think there's a song that says "Call Me" or something like that. That's first.
Just call. I'll be there.
There you go. There's a bunch of them. We're quoting James Taylor and Blondie in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So they're still there. There's still money. We expect, authorizations, and but you got to find your fit. And there's, two extremes now with, SIBRs and STTRs. It's either high risk technology, meaning off the wall. No investor's going to want to support that idea. It's crazy. They want to support that. Government still does. And then it's the government saying we have this technical innovation issue. How would you address it? So that's where it falls with a SIBR or STTR. And so
would you suggest that, like with Dahlgren, right? They want a simulation type innovation center.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Michigan, right? We got TACOM. We have all of missile defense. There's 110 companies. So what I was thinking is, how do we develop, like with Adient, an innovation center to utilize our 8A from an education standpoint and deliver that from a grant perspective? When I listened to Justin Finelli, right, from the Navy, and his push to small businesses. So I'm just kind of looking for that strategy. And I apologize if it's inappropriate place to ask these questions, but you're the lady to ask these questions. So I got you.
I think there's actually another angle too, and for another shameless plug for, I don't know who this guy is, but on November 18th, we'll be talking about unsolicited proposals. And these kind of mirror on the contracting side, right, Denise? Mm-hmm. Same kind of philosophy where you're reaching out to them. If they'd like to go the SIBR route, then take them down the SIBR route. But if you can get engaged and educate these folks using, and I kind of bundle all this stuff together when I used to do it, but I'd do briefings, and then I would do white papers, and then I would do unsolicited proposals, because that kind of puts you in the driver's seat. And because you're an 8A, you can still, oh, by the way, the FAR does still allow for you to sole source. Correct. Right?
So, yeah, it's back to relationship, having those conversations, opening the doors and letting folks know what you have. And
that is an absolute fact.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
All right, thanks, guys.
You bet. Appreciate it, Brian.
Well, I do have a question. Can I ask him another question?
No, you can't ask any questions. This is a contracting officer.
Can ask Brian anything.
Yeah, from one Brian to another. But this is what it's all about, right, Dave? This is what we're
absolutely.
Here for. Yeah. So who have you talked to within the agency where you're targeting?
Up at TACOM.
No, but I mean, do you have contacts there? Or?
Yeah, Maria. I've talked to Maria. She's the small business advocate. We're a tier one provider for Stellantis and for Ford. So I'm just trying to leverage that. And I'll be honest with you, B, I have no idea how the company, and I just started with them 30 days ago, how they got their 8A certification with zero contracts.
You don't have to have any contracts to get 8A.
Yeah.
I understand, but now they're trying to learn the process, and that's what I'm trying to educate them on.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
For 35 years, I've been in the federal government. I spent 12 as a CO, another 8 as a COTAR. So, I mean, I'm familiar with that, and I'm just trying to help them build, right? Especially here in Michigan, Detroit, huge in Michigan, defense. So, yeah, that's my gig.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But do they have a process for submitting the SBIR proposals? At least that's how I think they've done it at HHS. I've really never worked on those before, but I don't know if you have, Brian, being a CO of Kotar, but I think, don't they usually have a formal process for a time frame for submitting them? Don't they, Denise? Have you worked with has anybody on here worked with anybody submitting SBIR? Anybody got 59
Yeah, there
people
are
on?
deadlines. There are times, they usually keep moving you quarterly, but yes, there are hard deadlines.
Yeah.
Especially POD.
All right.
It's an open move, right? There's a lot of the innovations that have moved to 26, 27, 28, 29, right? They leave those open, but the initial is going to require our company to partner with somebody. And dude, I don't know if you guys work with CGI. I'm not putting a play out there.
There's plenty of organizations that you can team with and partner with.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. My recommendation is are you a Sam Radar member yet, Brian?
Not yet.
Yeah. Why don't you hop on Sam Radar, get with Rob. He'll be able to run you some great reports on the types of folks you should be teaming with.
Okay.
Sound
Thanks,
good?
Dave.
You bet. All right. Hot seat question number 2. How do we leverage this shutdown? And I'm going to go to the doctor, the one and only, to start, the Dr. Rafael Marrero. Tell us what you're thinking about how people can leverage this,
Well,
Rafa.
I mean, when Washington reopens, right, and it will, right, in the next couple of days, from what it seems, procurement is going to surge, and it's going to start right away. There are a lot of things that are beginning to populate database. So I think that agencies will scramble to obligate the frozen or delayed funds. That's number one, right? And before they expire. And then you can expect a wave of catch-up solicitations, tax orders, and other simplified acquisitions, for example. So what I've seen, the trend that I've seen, David, maybe you can correct me on this because you look at the data quite a bit. The federal marketplace, right, rewards those who stay visible, right?
That's a fact.
And ready during the times of silence, right? Yep. So keep that periscope up, even though you're moving, quietly, right? Yep. You want to make sure that when you start from zero, you'll be when others start from zero, you're gonna be the one sprinting and way ahead of the curve. So you need to take this downtime, if any, to punch up think of your capability statement as your corporate resume, right? So have that ready to go. Get into the small business search, the new SBA small business search. Make sure you go over it carefully, okay? Because anything that's not accurate there can and will affect you, number one. Number two, want to make sure that the links are working. The links to your downloadable capability statement, that it port over properly, because they were doing a cutover from the old system to the new system. And then a lot of the clients that we were working with saying, hey, my capability statement is not showing up. Why is that? And then we looked into it.
Rafa, are you telling me that the government made changes to the system that wasn't an improvement?
The government did. The government did, right?
That's right.
I don't know if it was the government, but the government did.
The government did.
Yeah, the other part of the government. So how can we leverage the shutdowns, right? So really update your SAMs, your SAM.gov, DSBS, or the small business search, and your SBA profile, right? Very important to take a look at your website. It's funny how time passes, right? And we don't take the time to update that content, and it's stale. Remember, it's stale. Mm-hmm. So you need to take a look at it. If you're not pumping data, if you're not pumping articles into your blog that are relevant content, that are keeping the search engines fed, you're going to start losing relevance. So what I would do is, refine your capability statements and markets, your marketing summaries and your capabilities narratives, and make sure that everything is on point, that everything maps. Make sure your information is bolted down, it's tight, it's accurate, and it holds water, right? And then start outreach and the relationship with primes again. You shouldn't take this as downtime. There are people working even though they're officially closed. I've recently had presentations, client presentations with the Corps of Engineers for construction projects, right? We've been doing capabilities briefings. We've been looking at sources sought notifications that were just released, preparing for those so that our clients can impact the acquisition strategy, right? The government's acquisition strategy, and making sure that they're wordsmithing things appropriately, not putting fluff in, because a lot of our clients come from the private sector, right? And they like a nice fluffy egg white omelet, right? They like to fluff, 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 and it looks like you're getting a big steak. And when you put your fork into it all goes away with hot air. So what you need to do is go in there and really polish up your narrative, make sure that everything holds water, that it's accurate and it's timely and it's relevant. Research, with Sam Radar, let me tell you. So Dave, I got to give you a shout out right now.
Oh, give me a shout out. I love shout outs.
No, and this is fact based, guys. This is not BS. So we have a client in Texas that is in the construction industry. Dave knows who they are because they're Sam Radar subscribers, right? And this client is right now looking at opportunities in their specific type of construction niche, right? They do a lot of concrete, a lot of paving, a lot of water work, and in fact, that's basically a lot of infrastructure redevelopment. So there are a lot of new government facilities projected to be built out. So the sources sought notifications are going out. These projects have been delayed since last fiscal year, I should say, this calendar year, right? Beginning of the year. So March, April, May, they all of a sudden went silent after the initial sources sought. So they were delayed and there was nothing happened, right? And we kept pinging the contracting officers and everyone there. Nobody knew anything. Well, I said, watch this. October, they're going to resurface. And that's exactly what's happened here. So guys, all of those opportunities that were in the pipeline that were not executed on are going to go back out now. And yep. I just saw proof of that. So with Sam Radar, Dave, we found I'm talking about a great opportunity, not just one, several. And it was in a sources sought stage. Okay?
Nice.
And guess what? My clients are now bidding. They're submitting. They're throwing their name into the hat for consideration as a small business concern in a nice size project, right? A 2-year construction project, right? It gives us time now to start lining up all of the bonding requirements, get the sourcing the right partners in a specific geo to help us fill the white space and round out the team with the right talent, right? So this downtime is golden time. You're not going to get this back. Take advantage of it. Don't slack off, right? Stay at the top of your game and then use the
Rafa?
Yes.
Can we add to that and wrap in Peter right here? Because part of that is all funding, making sure you have the funding to jump forward.
Yep. So use the lull to build positioning and then while your competition sleeps. So anyway, that's some of the things that I would recommend and the funding. So listen, that's a great point, Nikita. Peter brings something to the table that very few people bring. And I know for a fact that it's effective because he's helped my clients in the past. Whenever we've won a contract, I have clients that got their first contract as a small business, as a woman-owned, veteran-owned business, and they were super ecstatic when they got the contract. They didn't know what to do. And guess what? Peter Timbus helped them. And it was within 2 weeks that they got funding. I got to tell you, very few people deliver like Peter. I know for a fact. I have name, telephone number, email address of my clients that have been helped by Peter. This is no smoke. He's the real deal. So Dave, that's all I got to say.
And I like that too, because I think that when you think about leveraging, right, Peter, if you're not leveraging your financial capabilities, then they're because contracting officers are looking at that too, right, Of And how do they do it? How do you wind up helping with that?
Well,
as a total shameless plug for you.
One of the things, we've been extremely busy during the shutdown because we've been through the drill before. I've got 35 years of experience in this, and we continued to fund our clients even though the government was shut down. We were probably overwhelmed with other companies coming to us because their lenders would not lend during the shutdown, or they couldn't get higher lines of credit and they wanted to bid on stuff. So where we basically help people, and I don't care if you've got zero revenue or $100 million, because I have a client over $100 million in revenue and I've got brand newbies. So we will help you with the letters of financial support. So if you're bidding on an opportunity and the CEO says, hey, well, I've got to check the financial responsibility box, we'll help you there by issuing a letter of financial support to the CO saying that if they award the contract to you, that we'll be there to support you. So as long as you can have the expertise to handle the contract, it opens up everything for you. I don't care if you've got 500,000 of revenue and you want to bid on a $30 million opportunity and you can handle it, we'll be there to financially support you. We are a game changer for most of our clients because, as Raphael says, we can get a deal done in 2 to 5 to 7 business days.
No joke.
There's no fees to get up and running with us. And let me tell you another area we've really come into. A lot of companies are setting up backup lines of credit with us to their existing lines because there's no fee to get up and running with us. So you've got absolutely no risk, no fee to have a backup lender. So if this ever happens again, like at the end of January, the CEO is going to go to the end of January. If it happens again, you don't have to worry about everything. And even if they shut down and they're not paying the invoices, we'll be there to support you.
I love it. And somebody was asking, Peter, what is your info? Right there. You can do the little snappy do thing with your camera.
Yeah, code.
And go do that. He's one of the, I know you have one too, Todd, but that's awesome. But there you go. You can reach out to Peter there. I will say this, as we get into the final one, how do we act on this right now? Nikita, I wanted to go to you earlier, but you had a situation that you informed us about on the behind the scenes.
My 3-year-old decided she wants to run around naked, so I apologize if you see her in the background. I was trying to stay off camera while she doing it. You do this now by being on SAM Radar, being on SAM.gov, following up on FPDS, knowing what contracts are canceling soon, by making sure you're staying on top of sources sought, you're staying on top of your RFPs. If you see something that's unfair, protest ahead of time. Make sure that you can stay on top and push everything further.
And you might be able to find out about what to do on sam.gov today. On GovBrief, you can find that. Additionally, I think as far as this goes, for what you can do as far as you're making sure that you're going about the right things, and you mentioned a couple things here too. You have FPDS as well. I do, every month I do this. I do sam.gov and then I do FPDS because those are the two, like the yin and the yang of federal contracting. But unsolicited proposals are absolutely, if you're following that process to get into the federal government, all these things actually work together and you can win contracts that are not competed. So I want to make sure we do that shameless plug. And I do want to mention a couple of things of what you just said, Nikita, because you did a session on GovBrief for this, which is protesting before it is actually awarded.
Absolutely. I actually have one during the government shutdown pending right now. Yep. So there's an RFP and it was going to be basically a sole source award due to their parameters. And it's not one that can easily be subcontracted out due to the regulations they put in there. And so I wrote a protest letter and submitted it and still sitting with legal right now.
See that? You can do that as well. And I think these are all really good ways to make sure that you're engaging folks, and you're saying, hey, one of the ways to protest is also on NAICS codes, right? Like it's on the wrong NAICS code. We've done that in the past where we protested the NAICS code and they pulled the NAICS code from what it was and put it into a different one and made the incumbent a large business, which meant that they could no longer compete, which was fantastic, right? So there's a whole bunch of secrets to this. So, all right, how do we act on this right now? Rafael Marrero, one takeaway item of how they can act on this right now.
Well, I would say get ready to market hard following Thanksgiving. I mean, you've got to be like in full sprint mode, ready to rock and roll, have your polished capability statements and other marketing assets. And by the way, if you have not subscribed to Sam Radar, I strongly urge you to do so.
How do you subscribe to Sam Radar? I guess you have to go to samradar.com.
And there's a 7-day free trial. If you don't like it, you don't have
Dave,
free
trial. My clients love it. And I will name one name specifically that you can call and reference right whenever you want. Rucoba and Maya Construction is loving it. They're getting great value from it. We're loving it. We're coming up with opportunities before they become a thing. So it's great, actionable intelligence. Thank you, Dave.
Love it. You betcha. Denise B. Lawrence, what can we do right now to act? Act right now. What do we do?
Build relationships.
I like that.
Back.
Love that. Building those relationships. Peter Timbus, what can we do right now? You still there, Peter?
He had a hard stop at
jump off.
11:50.
Oh, he had to jump off. All right. Nikita, what do we do? You're up.
For me, I
Yeah.
reach out to the people who I had contact with prior to the government shutdown. I want to follow up with them. I want to make sure, one, Rafa talked about this on our Monday roundtables. If you don't already join. You welcome them back. You acknowledge that they went through something hard. You welcome them back. You tell them they're appreciated. And then you ask them, is there anything I can help you with sitting on your desk right now?
Positively. Love it. So I'm actually going to throw in that I agree with you, Rafa, that get all your stuff together. Make sure that it's ready to rock. Watch for the contract activity. Everybody that doesn't understand same rate, let me just pop it open real quick so that you know what we're talking about.
Hey, Dave,
here.
while you're popping that open, I'm going to also shout out. So part of what Rafa does is that capability statement. He makes sure that your SBA profile is up to date and locked in, but you also have Sally White, who couldn't make the call, who can help you with your LinkedIn and your marketing and knowing what events to start prepping for in 2026. She's got a list of events, and if you reach out to her after, the 27th? If you reach out to her after the 27th, she can even try to find you specific events where you could speak and actually be a presenter and get your name out there in different events as well. So you want to make sure you can reach out to Sally White. I posted your information earlier. I'll also post it again.
Do it again.
But she's also a great key resource that just isn't here.
And Gloria's getting an error message for the docs. We'll check on that for you, Gloria.
Yeah. You guys keep going. I'll look at it.
All right, cool. So this is an example of Sam Radar of what you will find for finding what doesn't land on sam.gov. Everybody agree that if there's only one offer received, it's probably not on sam.gov?
Agreed.
Everybody agree with that?
Yep.
And there's $128,000 award. Oh, this is awarded during the shutdown, in fact.
It ain't so.
Get out of town. So, and so here's the buyer. Here's the prime. So my question to you is, do you want to reach out to the buyer? If you want to reach out to the buyer, all you have to do is scroll down right here, and click this button and say, "Hi, I want to chat with you about the award that you made to Top Rail Enterprises," because they're going to remember that award. And if you're watching this buyer, because you're doing, keyword is satellite, by the way, they're doing satellite services. But you can also take a look at the buyer activity, and this is getting a major improvement, you guys. Anybody who signs up is going to get some seriously cool stuff. Let's talk about, would you care about doing business? What do you think? Take a guess, just a guess of how much Justin Holloway with Forest Service, how many contracts he did last year, and the dollars. Anybody want to put that in?
$2
to
billion.
the chat? What's that?
$2 billion is my guess.
$2 billion?
Yeah.
All right. That's a lot. Anybody else? Anybody else?
5 million.
5 million over the course of a year? Could be. Because he just did this one. This one's 128,000, relatively small, I will say. When you start. So here's the deal. How many of us would like to have a relationship with Justin because he did 1,266 contracts for 216 million?
Wow.
It wasn't the 2 billion that Nikita was talking about.
I'll take it.
But this is the reason why we do it. And this is showing stuff that doesn't hit sam.gov. And it also, Rafa brought up one with a source of SOT. This is what a source of SOT looks like. Guess what? There's one out there right now. It was originally supposed to be due by the 12th, but they extended this to the 31st. Why would they extend it to the 31st, Rafael Marrero?
The 31st. I wonder why.
To March 31st, because the government was shut down, right?
Exactly.
So this is what we want to do is we want to act. And the reason why we have Sam Radar is to act so that we can see what we need to do, tells you what to do every single day, and just take a couple minutes to start reaching out to the people to build relationships. And it will take time, which is why, oh, by the way, if you go to Sam Radar and you see it here, whoops, not sam.gov. That's where I'm going in an hour. But if we go to Sam Radar, there's a 10 times guarantee. You get 1,000%. you're going to get 1,000, 10 times. That's 1,000% in case you didn't know. 10 times what you invest, and you just do these things. Find out if these are reasonable. If these are not reasonable, do not sign up. But if these are reasonable, that you subscribe for 2 years, you participate in Monday roundtables, Nikita talked about that, you engage with the contacts at least a couple of times, and you follow up with the contacts at least a couple of times, and meet with your federal advisor. You do these things right, and that's all included.
Hey, Dave.
Yep.
Key part in what I love about Sam Radar is it helps me keep track of my competitors, because
Ooh.
I'm bidding on contracts that I am bidding on. And if I see they got awarded to something, I know to file my debriefing request within the first 72 hours to set myself up if I do file a protest. But it also lets me know how they're marketing. So I can, if I did that bid, I can go and look at their price, look at my price, and see the differences on the award, what we did, to make sure we are market competitive. So I use Sam Radar also for that.
You're right. And by the way, you can track that prime. So every time that prime gets an award, you know about it. Doesn't matter what agency it is. Do you care what agency it is, Nikita?
No.
Of course not.
And it also track against different NAICS codes, right?
It tracks NAICS codes, PSCs, keywords, buyers, and competitors. And that's the whole reason we do it.
We don't ever talk about. I also want to mention real quick. What if you want to work for the person who just got awarded?
Ooh,
you want to subcontract to it? You can reach out to them. You have their UEI. You can look them up on the SBA profile. Often there's an email address if you want to work with them because they are service disabled, veteran owned, or in your class, and you want to be a subcontractor. You get that information too.
So you can also see the prime details. And by the way, if you want to reach out to the prime right there, here's the owner. That's in Sam Radar. Ta-da! There you go. That's why we built it. That's what it does. All right.
Well,
Go ahead, Todd.
And then the great thing about tracking the buyers, like Brian said before, sometimes the contracting officer just kind of, it picks a NAICS code, not even the right. So if you're only tracking NAICS code, you might not see, some activity going on.
That's right. Brian had to leave, but he just about melted down the right, Rafa? He melted down the Monday roundtables at one time by saying, but we said, how do you pick your NAICS code? He said, I don't care. I just pick one.
My head was turning around like the Exorcist lady.
What? All right, let's get everybody out of here. The keys for right now, get moving. Don't wait. Get moving. Watch all the contract activity. Identify those buyers in your space. Guess what Sam Radar does? Helps you identify the buyers and watch all the contract activity. Hint, hint. And then you can research and prepare. You can see it in Sam Radar. You can do additional research and preparation, like with folks like Sally White, who can help you with LinkedIn. And then be ready to market hard after Thanksgiving. Everybody needs to be marketing. By the way, if you'd like to join me today, you can join me on the sam.gov opportunity tutorial. I'll be doing that today at 1 o'clock. If you're interested in that, hold on a second. Somebody was asking for this, so let me grab my sam.gov tutorial. Dude, hold on one sec. It's coming, I promise. And then what I can do, I say that. There it is. There's a session docs. We'll get you the session docs, by the way. And I just need to find, Manny Days, where's my sam.gov?
Hey, Dave, do you want me to launch the poll question?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Meant to do that. So if you need professional help, you can do that. Oh, here's my sam.gov tutorial. Here you go. And if you want this one, some folks were asking for that. So you got that. And then we'll make sure we get you guys out of here. I want to thank, special thanks to Rafael Marrero for joining us today. Appreciate you, my brother.
Got you.
If you need some help with capability statements and your government-centered website especially, right, Rafa? Very important.
Or cool-looking glasses.
Cool-looking glasses. Yeah, he can even do that for you. But one of the things you mentioned the other day, actually yesterday, Monday, it felt like yesterday because we were off. You mentioned sending out postcards, and you do that too, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And right now's the time. And believe me, you would not believe you cannot underestimate the power of a handwritten note, even on a card that you go out and buy. It means the world because it's not prefabricated and you took the time to write it and send it. Welcome them back.
Is that an AI?
And an AI photo.
Brian wants to know. Yeah.
Brian, is that an AI Photoshop of Rafa?
No, but it is my sexy blue steel pose.
What was it?
All right, we want to thank Sally White for not being here. I'm just kidding. For help and LinkedIn. We always love to do referrals for her if you're interested in that. She does help folks in event planning as well and making sure that you represent well. Todd Crane helps with CMMC and other cybersecurity, not just CMMC, right, Todd?
Absolutely.
And Peter Timbers had to jump, but there's the information. If you need some help with finances, you got that. Brian had to jump as well. But he, as a former contracting officer of 32 years, you can reach out to him on acquisitionhelp.com. And appreciate you, Nikita, joining us today. I didn't have your picture up here for the last part.
Oh, it's all
but
good.
I do appreciate you joining as usual, and we avoided your naked daughter running around, which is fantastic.
Aw, little munchkin.
Yeah, sorry.
And we will see you December 9th back on the Tuesday schedule since yesterday was Veterans Day. Thank you again, veterans. Appreciate you, Todd Crane. I know you are one. And if anybody wants to join me for today for the 1 p.m. session, you can do that by registering on GovBrief and also the unsolicited proposals
Hey, Dave,
up there.
I'm gonna shift my schedule around to be there. I'll be there with you.
Oh, cool. I appreciate it.
Okay, man.
All right. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see. Mr. Smith, I see that you had your hand raised. My apologies, man. What do you got?
No problem, brother. I was the three little dots in the webinar to actually get the transcript. I don't see that.
They don't work. They don't work here.
Yeah.
They don't work on the webinars.
I was wanting to get everybody's information in the webinar.
I don't think we have that. I don't think you can do that. I can save it and I'll send it over to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
If you want everyone's
right?
contact information, Dave, we can get that over to him.
Is it there? Can you? So the three dots are not in the webinar chat.
There.
No, they're
They're
not.
not there for the attendees.
Yeah,
only for
attendees
us.
cannot save chat.
Because we are very special people, Mr. Smith. All right. No, we'll be done. We'll get that out to everybody. We'll put it in the. We'll get it to you.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
All right, guys. Thank you
guys.
much.
Y'all take care.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
See you guys.